Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Baseball Domain. We just hit 40 subs, so thank you all for the support. But before we get into today's video, again, I'm going to ask you guys to subscribe if you guys haven't done so already. Share this with your friends. If they like baseball, this is the place to be. And then tell me who you think is going to get traded this offseason in the comments down below. So, now, let's get into this. So, today's video, we're going to go over 5 players who I think should be traded this offseason. I don't know if they all will be, but I think some of them should be. So, let's go. Or at least shopped around, see what there is in value. So, coming to number 5, I have Gary Sanchez. What looked like a young, promising catcher has kind of turned himself into a one-year wonder in an age where bats really do help. He doesn't have his. It kind of just disappeared. It existed for like one season, his rookie year, and then kind of fell off. His defense was never there, and it's honestly gotten worse. I feel like I feel like he's running out of time with the Yankees to get an extension, to get anything, and I think his best bet would be just shipped right out. And honestly, maybe a change of scenery helps him out. Now, while there's a lot of negatives about Gary Sanchez, one thing I will say is that this year his pitch recognition and pitch calling was way better. Obviously, that's coming with experience, but he's known what to call in the right situations, and it's really helping everything out. He also is getting a lot better with the framing of the pitches. He's changed his setup. So before he would have his glove out, and then he'd bring it down and then catch. Now he just kind of has his glove kind of just dangling in a sense, and then catch, bring, and that definitely helps him get a lot more calls that he probably wouldn't have got last year and the year before. So there are positives. Defense you can definitely work with if you get a proper catching coach, and the bat definitely can come around, change maybe his swing path, eye level, how he's swinging, change his stance. I think there is potential there that hasn't been quite tapped into, but I think he shouldn't be a Yankee come next year. Now, I have 3 teams that I think should trade for him. There is a 4th one that kind of like, depending on how the offseason goes, could trade for him. But there's 3 that I really think should trade for him. The first one is the other New York team, the Mets. The Mets need catching. Now, Gary Sanchez might not be a complete upgrade. There is a chance that maybe if you get him early on in the offseason, you can really work with him on blocking, just defense in general, and get working on that bat come spring training time so that when opening day comes, he can bat. Even 250 would be good for a catcher. 240, honestly, I think you would take as a catcher. If your catcher hit 240, 250, and had could save 5-6 runs a year, I think you're okay with that. The Mets do need catching. I don't know if they'll get Real Muto, so I think Gary Sanchez is a good backup option on that. Go get him. He's going to be really cheap, too. His value is rock bottom, honestly. He's not that good right now. So, yeah. Next is Cleveland. Now, I think that Sanchez could be in a maybe return package for Lindor if that happens. But Cleveland needs catching. The Austin Hedges just is not there. A good defensive catcher. That's the only thing he has on Sanchez. But Sanchez still has a better bat. And I think Sanchez has better potential. And, maybe he's changed scenery, getting him into Cleveland. Maybe he finds himself. You never know. I think it'd be a good trade for Cleveland to take. Get a good catcher. Young. Got some control. He's not going to be really expensive either. So that helps. And then the final team is San Diego. They're still in their catcher hunt. As good as Austin Nola is, I don't think he's just that. I think you could go out. You could get Gary Sanchez. I think he would help. He might, thrive in a place that is San Diego. You never know. Change of scenery is all a person needs sometimes to kind of tap into that new potential and just skyrocket. The 4th team that, depending on how the offseason goes, is Philadelphia. Phillies don't re-sign Real Muto. They're going to need a catcher, and I think Gary Sanchez is a great catcher to put in there. Young, get some control on him. You can extend him, and he has a good bat. It's just he needs to get that bat coming around again. So, coming in at number 4, I don't think this player should be traded, but I think he should definitely be shopped, and that's Trevor Story. Now, the Rockies have already pissed off Arenado. he wants out, and I think if you're going to trade him, you're going to want to try and trade Story too, who's a free agent at the end of next year. Don't think he'll sign back, and I don't think getting a draft pick is worth him. I think you should trade him to a team that is in need of a shortstop that will give you prospects back. I think you need to get some prospects out of it. You can't just get one draft pick. So my 3 teams for him, number 1 is the Angels. If the Angels do not get Lindor, they definitely should go after Story. Now it's going to cost a good amount of prospects, but I do think he'd be cheaper than what Lindor would be. He's got plus glove, plus bat, plus arm. Definitely a top 5 shortstop in the league. And, cheaper version of Lindor, I'd almost feel like. So I feel like if you get him, that'd be very well. Next is the Yankees. You could, I don't know if you'd get Torres back in this. You might. But if you don't, there's a chance you maybe get Urshela and Torres gets thrown to third, or LeMahieu gets thrown to third, Torres to second, and you got Trevor Story at short. He definitely helps that. They do need a shortstop in a sense. I don't think Torres is quite yet that shortstop that they were hoping he would be. Definitely better bat, better arm, better glove than what Gleyber Torres has right now. But great deal for the Yankees, I feel like. And then next is the Mets. The Mets, you definitely trade Amed Rosario over. Amed Rosario just isn't quite your shortstop that everyone was hoping he would be. I don't even know where he's fitting right now on this team. To me, he's got like an average, maybe below average glove, average arm, below average bat. Although he started to bring it around this year, so maybe he's tapping into some potential that we all thought he had and hadn't been showing. But I think if you could get Trevor Story and sign him to an extension, even if it's 7 years, I'm pretty sure all Mets fans would take Trevor Story over Amed Rosario. And then you can maybe throw Andreas Jimenez over at second when Cano retires in the next 2 years. So next is the brother from Colorado, Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story's partner. He's got 4 teams he wants out. They aren't doing anything with him, and I think it's time to trade him. If he wants out, get him out. I think it's time to move on. There's definitely suitors out there, and you're going to get a lot of prospects back if he confirms to the team that he will not opt out, because then they got the best third baseman in all of baseball for 8 years. That's great. So I got my first team that he should go to is St. Louis. St. Louis tried to get him back the last offseason. I think they'll have even more reason to go for him this offseason. He wants out. St. Louis wants a third baseman. Nolan Arenado adds another bat to that lineup that could really use another bat, especially if they don't get Colton Wong back. So getting him just makes sense. He really helps the defense side, offense side, helps that team compete in what is like a weird NL Central and then what would be a tough NL for the playoffs. Arenado to the Cardinals. Next is Arenado to the Braves. The Braves definitely also need a third baseman. I don't know what Young Camargo is going to be like. I thought he was more of a left fielder, but I guess he's third baseman. Austin Riley, I see more as an outfielder, and I think if you get Nolan Arenado, you'd be okay putting Riley out in the outfield. So, Arenado to the Braves. Next is Arenado to the Nationals. They do need a third baseman. They lost Rendon. Hard to put that production back in, but if you're going to get anyone to put the production back in, it's definitely going to be Nolan Arenado. Great pickup. You don't really know. Carter Kieboom, maybe. But if you could throw him to second, I'm sure you would. Because Arenado's the best third baseman. Why wouldn't you take him? And honestly, Kieboom might be on the way out to Colorado. So there's that too. Next up is the rival, the Dodgers. Because they'll just go out and get anyone. I could see them going there. Especially with the question mark at third base now. They don't have Justin Turner on contract anymore. He's a free agent. You don't know if he's going to come back. You don't know if the Dodgers are going to want him back after the stunt in the World Series. Who knows? But, if you're going to need to fill a third base gap, Nolan Arenado's the guy to go for. So, Arenado to the Dodgers. Next is Kris Bryant, another third baseman. He also wants out of Chicago. He's not going to sign back. A whole bunch of grievance with the service time issue. I don't think he's going to go back. I think it's over. I think they should trade him this offseason. And I got 4 teams that he should go to. One is Atlanta. Again, need a third baseman. He's cheap. He's a cheaper option than what Arenado would be. His bat started coming around again after his down year. MVP in 2016, Rookie of the Year in 2015. He's a great player. He's all-star, cheaper version of what Arenado would be, and he definitely helps that team. Next is Texas. I don't know why, but I have a feeling Texas would play into the odds to get him. I feel like Texas, in a sense, is trying to compete, get back into competition instead of rebuilding properly. And if you're going to do it, getting a cornerstone at third base since Beltre has left. Kris Bryant's definitely a guy. He's not gonna cost as much as what Arenado would cost. So that's why I don't think they'd be in the Arenado sweepstakes. But get Bryant. I think that would help. Cheaper option too. So yeah. Next is Washington again. They need third baseman. I don't know. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. I said it with that. And then last one's Toronto. Toronto needs a third baseman. They've been linked with Kris Bryant before. They drafted him out of high school. He did not sign. But I could see them maybe going out, swindling a deal, getting Kris Bryant. He's going to be a lot cheaper than if they wanted to go out and get Francisco Lindor. So, yeah. And he fills that third base hole. You let Bichette grow, process, just blossom into your all-star shortstop. Biggio can stay at second. Guerrero stays at first, even though he's losing weight. Still think he's the first baseman. And it just fits perfectly. And then the last player on today's list is the shortstop from Cleveland, Francisco Lindor, who definitely should be traded this offseason because I don't think Cleveland likes him anymore for some reason. I don't know. The Indians are dumb for trading him, but they want him out. So, first destination's the Dodgers. I feel like that one's pretty self-explanatory. They were linked to the Dodgers the Dodgers were linked with Lindor last year. It only makes sense they'd be linked again this year. They could move Seager to third, Lindor at short, and then who knows? Or Seager at second, Lindor at short, someone at third. Could be Turner. Who knows? That team would be amazing. Next up is the Blue Jays. Again, they've been linked with Lindor. There's history there. Their front office, the GM, presidents of operation guy as well. Both came from Cleveland. They drafted Lindor. They were the two guys responsible for that. So I do think that's going to play a factor in if he signs with the Blue Jays or not. I could see them going out and making the deal for him. As much as Kris Bryant would be awesome as to have as well, Francisco Lindor would be even better in a sense. So there's Toronto. And then the next is the Angels. Again, they need shortstops. They're not going to have Andrelton Simmons back next year. And what better way of an upgrade than getting Francisco Lindor and signing him to an extension than putting Colton Wong at second, or you can have David Fletcher at second. Maybe David Fletcher goes over the deal. You can put Colton Wong in second. So, Lindor to the Angels. So, those are my 5 guys I think are going to get traded. We got Gary Sanchez, Trevor Story, Nolan Arenado, Kris Bryant, and Francisco Lindor. Tell me who you think is going to get traded this offseason. Do you think Ahmed Rosario gets traded? Maybe a Noah Syndergaard gets traded for some reason. Tell me who you think is going to get traded in this offseason. I'd love to hear it. Again, subscribe if you guys are brand new to this channel. It means a lot. Like the video if you haven't done so already. Maybe you'll like this video. And share this with all your friends. They like baseball. Again, this is the place to be. We're uploading every day, maybe every other day. We're going to be bringing you amazing baseball content throughout this offseason. And when the free agent starts signing, I will be sure to cover it. So, yeah, I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out. Goodbye.